What is up, YouTube? Welcome back, Sofa King Tactical. Based on not only the failures, but the eventual success of this, the Glock that ain't, the first P80 that I did in 22 TCM 9R with the Rock Island upper, I did get this extracting, and I know what's causing the light primer strikes, and I think I have that fixed as well. So based on, I couldn't get it to work, and I finally did get it to work, I decided a while back to start putting parts together for another P80 build. This one I wanted to be a little fancier though, and I wanted to do a more conventional cartridge. I'm a big fan of all the bottleneck pistol cartridges, 17 Mach 2, 17 HMR, 762x25, 22 TCM 9R, 400 Corbon, 9x25 Dillon. I have pistols chambered in almost all of those, or used to. I've sold a couple, 32 NAA. So I'm going to do this one in 357 SIG. I do have a Smith & Wesson M&P 357, a very early first generation one. But this one's going to be, that one's pretty stock. This one's going to be not stock. So the centerpiece of this build is this slide. This is an Alpha Wolf G22 slide that I sent down to Boogeyman Customs and had them put this Hive 2 pattern, whatever you want to call it. It was a blank slide, so it didn't come with any serrations or nothing. So they were able to use the entire sides and top. There is a missing portion here. That's where the front sight should go, but I didn't get the front sight cut out. The compensator I'm using is where the front sight's going to go. And then on the back here, I've got a Dawson Precision fiber optic sight. Another thing I wanted to do with this, I wanted it to kind of, I don't know, sounds dumb, but I wanted it to match my truck. My Silverado is white on black, and I've gotten rid of most of the chrome, and I hate chrome. It's so ugly. But I wanted this to kind of match the truck with that same like Stormtrooper or Panda look, like black on white with the contrasting colors. Started off with this slide, sent it out, got it done. It's Cerakoted in a satin black. I picked up a barrel for it, 357 SIG, stainless, and it's threaded, which was pretty tough to find. And then I painted the chamber in the hood area. I Duracoated this white. I don't expect it's not gonna look perfect. It's gonna get dirty and oily, and it's definitely gonna wear along this edge, but you know, it's gonna look cool for today. So you get that cool black on white contrast. And then I got this Agency Arms 417 compensator. This is a 9mm comp. And the difference here in this hole between 9mm and the 40 Smith & Wesson profile barrel right there is about 20 thousandths. So I went on to eBay and I got this little flap wheel. By hand sanded 20 thousandths out of here so that it would fit on that 40 profile barrel. I did another Ready Mods frame, and this one I made a pretty bad attempt. Stippling's not as easy as it looks, I guess, if you want it to look good, because the rear and the front are kind of a rectangle shape. They didn't come out too bad. I just used like a big round tip, just kind of mushed it in for a couple seconds each. The sides have a lot of curves and missing spots and reliefs, and it didn't look too good. For a magwell, I went with Steel City Arsenal. I've actually used this a little bit on the Glock that ain't, and I really like it. It's expensive, it's aluminum, it's like $80, but I'm going to move it over to this. I'm going to try out a different one on the other P80. I definitely like, it's really small, it gives you a good lip for your pinky on the bottom, but it doesn't add a lot of bulk to the gun. So that again gives it that black on white on black on white on black on white contrast. All the controls in the trigger in this one will be black. And then I got ETS mags. I painted the lower portion that protrudes with the Duracoat white. Left the top clear so you can still see how many rounds are left. And then it's got the black base plate. And so that's ultimately what it's going to look like once I get to pull it all together here. I got to put the front sight on, put all the guts inside the frame, and then we'll dry fire it, function test it, and then we'll get it out to the range, try it out, and hopefully have much better luck than with this guy. And I hope it'll just run. Lessons learned. We'll find out. Give me 1 second. I'll speed it up 10,000 times, put all this together. We'll head out to the range. Well, that's all I got. I don't know why it doesn't work. I don't actually have any Glocks. That's a lie. I have a Glock 20. But yeah, I don't know why it doesn't work. It's all right, boys and girls. I'm back. I told a lie. We're not going to the range today. It's dark out. 6 o'clock. For the past 3 hours, I've been fiddle farting around with this thing, trying to figure out why it wouldn't release the striker. I put this on permanently with the set screws and some it's done. So basically, this is the little nub that the trigger bar catches on, pulls back, lets go, firing pin hits primer. Right. This thingy called the cruciform is what catches on that nub. So here it's forward, the nub is caught. When you pull the trigger, this bar hits the connector and goes down. And when it drops, it releases that nub. Striker goes forward, fires around. Something's out of spec here. I compared it to the Glock that ain't. I compared it to my G20. Everything looks perfect. So my best guess is that this block is not sitting low enough in the frame. Maybe this hole is a little too high, or I don't really know. But either way, this is not dropping enough to release this, and so nothing happens. So I ended up taking this trigger bar, popping it up out of here, and actually bending this little tab down quite a bit, way more than I should have had to in the world of precision firearms. And then it still wasn't working all the way, so I took a file and I just knocked this edge off. And it was a pretty rough file, so now I have a pretty rough edge right here that I'm hoping with some break-in and some dry firing should smooth out and give me that really good trigger pull. I will say though, even with it being not quite perfect, there's some other break-in issues too, like the slide. You have to and then give it a hit, or else it's not on. The trigger actually, once it's working right, I think it's going to be really nice. So there's a lot of initial take-up. There's all this mush here. And I don't know if I can get rid of that. I'm going to look into it. But right here, you hit a little wall, breaks, and the reset is really pretty great. It's 100 times better than the trigger on the Glock that ain't. So I think so long as everything continues to work and smooths itself out back there in this bendable mess that I made, I think this thing's going to end up having a very good trigger on it. So everything else put together, I did on this guy the spring for the slide stop that's up here. I put this pin in wrong. I bent that spring. I mangled it. So the slide stop actually doesn't work right now. It doesn't go down like it's supposed to. So I'll have to replace that spring. But other than that, she's ready to run. And next time we got a nice day out, I'm going to grab some ammo, some 125 grain 357 SIG hand loads that I've got. We'll take it out to the range and we'll see if it runs as good as it looks. I think it does look pretty, I don't know, maybe this isn't for everybody. I'm certainly not going to create a whole fleet of white and black guns, but I think this one came out pretty cool. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe. I need 1 billion subscribers. I'm a little short of that number, but we're getting really close. And you don't got to ring the bell or none of that. Just subscribe. You don't have to watch another video if you don't want to. Just let me get those numbers. Thanks. See you later. Bye.